Hey everyone, what is up? So I think we have a better stable connection now. So we are going to start. By the way, uh, does anyone know how to like dual stream either on the to add the overlay into your encoder? Uh, okay. So does anyone know how to like kind of uh, stream in dual mode, like both in desktop and that way? Uh, so let's wait for a few people's and then we'll start what we were doing. So let's implement this thing, whatever we were doing. So yeah. So I don't see any updates on the desktop view stream that I did already. Let me just go this on the live. Maybe I can just say Part-2. So if you want to see the implementation of the first part, let me share you the link with. Uh, so this is the link, you know, that has the about chat. So this link you can follow to see what I did today. Okay, and make sure you like this stream. And if you have any questions, feel free to just ask them. Okay. So this is what we did. Yes, do it here. A little bit of this. Yeah. So we did created this mini, Redis kind of thing. So we have a hash map over here that we do. So right, and I have to set. And this is the set that we have done, and this is the get function that we are doing. But we were facing some issues over here. So if I go ahead and run this, like this set foo bar. So you see, I can able to like I'm able to set this thing on the hash map, right? But when I try to get it with the key, I see key not found, but why? Now here comes the persistence of the store. You see, whenever I rerun the command, it gets initiated with a new empty hash map. So this is what we have to figure out. We have to somehow figure out a way how to persist the data, right? Currently it's like that. So in order to persist the data, we can use disk storage, so that our JSON file, we maintain our key value pair on the JSON file, and we can then fetch on every page load, or not page load, basically every app load. So this way we will have our things, right? So instead of directly storing this thing onto the hash map, we'll do that, but we will use serd JSON for it, right? In order to serialize, deserialize the things, right? So let's do this. I will say save JSON. I'll create a function save JSON that is going to return a result of a string and course a box then error, right? So before that, we can say cargo add serd features derive, right? We need this. Once we have this, I can add serd JSON. Okay, and if I do a cat on cargo dot toml file, you see I can have this thing serd JSON and serd. Basically blah, 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 blah. All right, the serd has the thing called feature derive now, so now I don't have to really go over and update the toml file. Now why serd and serd JSON are used here? Because I want to serialize and deserialize the JSON, and I want to save it, that hash map, into a file, right? That file I will load. So basically we have to do file operations as well, and also some like serialization and deserialization of a JSON data, right? So that's what we're gonna do. So save JSON, right? And this save JSON basically will receive I don't need to call this, right? So I can just make it a normal function, because this is going to be used internally. So that save JSON will receive content, right? It will receive a content, and I need to figure out, okay, some file operation. MS the groove. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. Okay, so यहाँ पे we have to do some file operation, and are we missing something? Content will be received here, and then we can basically create a JSON string out of it. Yeah, because we are going to store this thing, so we should have this thing as serialize, deserialize. Let's do this. और बताओ क्या हालचाल रवि? Okay, so this is serialize, deserialize. तो यहाँ पे we have to do is basically let JSON content basically content. We don't need this, right? We can always have self, right? Miss you, brother. Miss you too, brother. Miss you too. Okay, hash map, we have it, right? So once we have to insert this, I can directly pass in the store, or maybe if not, I'll just call you. So I can say search JSON dot to string pretty, and I need a value. What does it take? It take a value of type t, so I can say and self dot store. Is there any playlist that you can take me from 10 to 50% in Rust that can take me from 10 to 15? 0 to, what does that mean? 10 to 50%. You are on 10? Playlist, I mean, you can check, there are many people are there. So, I mean, but I would suggest you to, just build project, read the docs and all. That will only tell you. That will only take you to 100%, not 50%. Okay. Build project, do stuff. And playlist, there are multiple, many guys that can, you can like watch them. So self dot store, we have a hash map. So we are storing hash map onto the file, so that when we load it and when we deserialize it, it gets automatically mapped onto the new function. Okay. So now it returns a result, right? If I do this, it returns a result of a string and an error, right? So we can do this. We'll have the JSON over here, right? And on the error, we can, you know, mismatch type, use this operator to extract. Uh, Okay, yeah, you know what we can do? Uh, Instead of writing all these things, because we are kind of using result over here, right? So the good thing, the most idiomatic thing over here is to just do this. Why? Because a question mark will indirectly, under the hood will do what we are doing, like, processing whether the result is there or not. If it's an error, it will just return it to the calling function. So this question mark over here, it propagates the error to the main, and on the main we are going to handle it. So there is no issue to, use this thing over here, right? So now we have the JSON content, right? uh, Now what we are going to do is we are going to use fs, right? And let's see, fs, right, this macro rules we have as well. So let's do this, right. We have a path and a contents. So contents would be basically JSON content, and path we are going to be getting it, right? And the path it takes is basically a string and contents, right? Now here what we are going to do, we can always do a question mark, right? As I already told, it is going to propagate the error, right? Now again, what's that? I have to remove the match from here, right? Mismatch, okay, no problem. And once this is done, everything is done, what we are going to do, we are going to return uh, item setted, item saved, we can say, right? Item saved. Cool. So we have this save JSON method completed, and over here what I can do is say self dot save JSON, and I'm going to need a path over here, right? And path can be set over, uh, maybe I can set this on a new thing, right? So I'll say self dot path, because this is going to return a result, so we have to handle this thing over here, right? It is also returning result, so maybe I can just do a question mark over here, and I'm going to do this because we don't have any path right now, so we should store this thing. I'll say path string, right? And over here as well, I'll say pub path string, right? And on the main, what I'll do, whenever I call store new, I'll have to pass a path. So I'll say let path equals string from over here. I can just do desktop. Should I do this, or should I don't think it is going to be like parsed, right? Because this tilde is going to throw some error while parsing this. So probably I should say users weapon desktop, and over here I can just say store dot json, or maybe redis dot json, and again I'm going to do this, and on the new I'm going to pass in the path. So you see what I did? I created a path. Maybe you guys can fetch it on from the env file, but that's okay. And over here I can say path as string, right? And I can just simply set the path over here. Okay, everything is done, no errors for now. It says expected 0, found 1. And why is that, buddy? I said it needs to have this, right? Path. Cannot move out of cell because it borrows. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And why is that? Can you guys tell me what are we getting here? By the way, on this desktop I'm tracking this thing, this all my viewers and views and all like that. Cannot move out of self. Let's see what do we get here. Let's build this thing and see. Okay, it says use clone. Okay, move out of occur here. Okay, this is a move, right? Borrow of self. So I have to do a clone. Paths. What if I do a part dot clone here? Again, I have to do it right. So this part is good. But the only issue I'm getting over here is this cannot move out of cell. Saved JSON is basically taking a string, and this path is going to be taken over here because this is taking the ownership, right? The right will take the ownership. It needs an owned string. Yeah, so it's okay if we pass the clone over here. Right, so let's see if we can save the file. Save JSON, and we already have handled this thing, right? Maybe we can say error menu line and over here as well. Let's see what do we get in our JSON. Are we able to save it or not? It's our like localized database. So how do we run this thing? Cargo run, we'll pass in the parameters. I'll say set name as weapon, right? I want to save the key value pair as name as weapon, and when I run this thing, CLI, okay, I mean this is working, right? So instead of directly showing this name weapon, I should show something else. For I'm just showing the store, right? Instead of this thing, I should show item saved to JSON file. I should say this, right? So, but let's see if we are able to, you know, get the data. Cd desktop, and yes, we have redis.json, right? So let's see, what do we have? See, we have this single key on the JSON file. All right, let me just open it again. So earlier we don't have this thing, right? We were having any like very in memory thing, but now this thing is persistent. We have saved this in our JSON. Let me add another value to it. Cargo run set, I'll say address Uttarakhand, right? What do we get? Item saved to JSON file. Now let's see uh, if the item is saved. Okay, beautiful thing is happening here. You see the data is getting overwrite, right? Earlier we have name, now we have address. I want it to kind of, you know, push the data on the store so that it won't get uh, that thing won't get overwrite, right? So what is the solution to that? First of all, how this is happening? This is happening because every time I run this thing, the store is getting refreshed over here. So instead of loading an empty thing, I have to load map on the new so that it gets loaded from the disk, and I have the already available store there. Okay, here you can see I already have the path, right? I can create a function to load up the JSON. I'll say, you know, load JSON. I can have self because I need to load the path, right? uh, Wait a minute, the path is already there, right? So I don't need path over here in the save JSON. I can simply say self dot path. Do I need this then? Oh yes, I need, because I need to pass in the store, right? Expected one of what? Remove this thing. Function. Okay, let's load the JSON over here. So how do we load the JSON? We are going to take help of CERD, of course, and we already have the path, right? So I can say let content is basically will be the type of hash map, right? Why I'm doing this? Why I'm so sure the type will be written like this? Because we have stored hash map, right? We have stringify hash map using CERD JSON's toString pretty associated function, and when I deserialize this thing, it will get deserialized to the hash map, right? Because I have added a derived macro over here, serialize and deserialize. So all this thing that I'm saying is very simple exercise, but these concepts that we are learning here, it is going to be very helpful if you are like working in Rust. You know, whether to use Rust as a web dev or not, this is going to be like very useful. What are the things that are going to be helpful? The result return type over here, as you can see. How do you know, deserialize, serialize and debug using CERD? How do you create a kind of template over here? It is basically a class, you can see, right? So definitely what I'm going to be getting from here is the hash map of string, right? Now I can use third JSON. Let's see if we have anything. To writer to vector serializer, stream serializer. How to deserialize? JSON macro rule. So this is to string pretty. I want uh, kind of deserialize it back to the thing. So let's see. Deserialize string to a type in Rust using served JSON. String deserialize from str. From str. We are going to use from str. From str. It gives back me the result of a type, and here I need to load up the file's content, right? So I can say content over here. Again, I'm very bad at naming things, so I'll just say store to it, right? The content here needs to be load up, so I'll say let content equals fs. Do we have something like read to string? Can we do that? Read to string. Read to string. A string. Read to string. Let's see. We need a path. What did it returns the result of a string in an error? We need a path. So I'll say self dot path, and again it returns a result. So I will just propagate the error to the very top from the calling to the calling function. So I'll just use this. Can only be. Oh, we are not returning a result from here. Let's return a result from here. It's a hash map that we are going to return, and we are going to return this error over here. Voila, voila. So from str, what it returns, what it needs basically, it needs this thing. So I'm going to say content, right? It returns a result. So oh man, this keyboard is, so I have the store, right? So I can just say okay, store. Cannot move out of self dot path. It's okay if we do here. Okay, so the reload JSON this thing is completed, right? Now the important thing, cannot move out. How can I prevent this unnecessary cloning, guys? Yeah, I mean, it has to own the path, own the string. So I think it could be done, right? It's a single string, no harm in it. Not copying the entire data, of course. So the function has been created to load up the JSON. Now the important thing to do here is on the new we have to load, right? So I'll say let store, and I can always use the shorthand, so that is why I'm keeping the name and nomenclature similar, right? All right, 5 people. Amazing, amazing, guys, come on, show the power of like. Hang the YouTube. Let's target to 10 likes. Come on. And let's come on chat, hang out on chat. Let me just give you my GitHub link. So the link on the chat is basically my GitHub if you want to check out, and follow me there as well. Okay, so let's load up the data here. So I'll say so on the new, we can always do this, right? Load JSON, and instead of self, because the thing is not here, so I'm going to pass the path, right? And I'm going to propagate the error from here as well. So I'll use the question mark, and instead of a new hash map, I'll simply add up the store here. Okay, it says expected Redis, but I get this. Maybe I can just do an okay of Redis, and over here I can just return the result of self, and right, path. Okay, load up the JSON. The self has to be removed. This doesn't make sense here, right? I need a path that is a string, and instead of self dot path, I need only a path. Okay, use of moved value, because load JSON is going to use the fs operation that is going to own up the string. So let's clone this thing. All right, problem solved. On the new, we are loading up the JSON, and instead of issuing an empty hash map, we are just loading up the file, converting it into the hash map, loading up on the new, and this way we will have our thing, right? Over here the get doesn't change because everything is loaded as soon as the program starts. So now we will have the hash map that is preloaded without having the issue of key loss. So this way we will have a persistent memory. But few things we have to change on main. This new, we have path, but it returns a result, right? And no method found set or enum, because this is a store is this thing, right? So because it's a result, so we have to handle it, right? That's the purpose. So what we are going to do here is, once this is okay, we are going to return store. If we have any error, we are going to print this error over here. I'll simply call it error, probably with the new line, and I'll call it error. And what I can do from here is, I'll simply say process dot exit the status code 1, and it's not dot, basically it's an associated function, so I'll call it this way. Now you see, process dot exit, why I'm doing this. Process dot exit or continue or break or these kind of things have a a return type of exclamation mark. So if someone asks you what is exclamation mark, is it a return type, is it a type? So yes, it is a type, and all these functions, they return exclamation mark because they symbolize that the program is basically going to exit, or there is nothing to return because the program breaks here. So basically if I don't do this, then I'll have a mismatch over here, because the OK one arm is returning a store, a hash map, another arm is returning nothing, right? So in order to do that, because it's an error, right, so I have to exit thing, and this way this satisfies the compiler as well, because compiler thinks the program is going to exit. What is the purpose of like matching over here? Because it is going to break, right? So if we have an error, we are just going to print the error and exit gracefully. All right, so I think we are good, and we have get, and let's implement the delete as well. So we can say match store dot delete based on the key. We haven't implemented it, so that is why we are not seeing anything, right? Let's copy this thing and let's paste it over here. We can say error deleting, right? Okay, error getting. So let's go and implement delete. Okay, do you want to see the result, or directly want to implement this thing and later on see this? Probably let's implement this. Okay, if I go inside the store over here, I have to implement delete. So let's do that over here, right? So I'll say public function delete. It is also going to mutate, so I can use self. I'll have a key that is of type string, and it returns a result of string, and you know, the same thing basically. Okay, so here we have to delete the item from hash map. We also have to update the JSON file as well, otherwise the item gets deleted from the hash map and it gets still it will be there on the JSON file, right? So basically what we have to do, we have to overwrite everything. How to do that? So I'll say self dot store dot remove. So let's do this. Remove needs a key, and it returns an option, right? So I can pass in the key, and let's do this because it's an option. So either it will have some, right, or it will have none. The key doesn't exist, right? So we can just say like this, no key found, right? Does that make sense? And it returns an OK from here that says item deleted, right? Incompatible types. Why? Because it doesn't have the value, so we can say value to it. This found to be the type of string, and found str. So let's remove this. Consider using semicolon. Okay, sir. Okay, problem is solved. Now I can delete the thing as well. So once the thing has been deleted from the store, I need to do this thing as well. So I'll say fs dot write I need a path, so I'll say self dot path dot right. It owns up the thing, and because we are using result here, so we can propagate the error. Also, it needs the content, right? Contents. So I'll say uh, content. For that, I have to create the content over here, right? Let content is basically a string, so it will be third. Why don't I call self dot save JSON? It's already there, right? It's already there, so I can simply call save self dot save. I can call self dot save JSON. Man, what did I do? Okay, self dot save JSON. Save JSON is already there. We already have the store updated. It will simply say item saved, and later on it will say item deleted. It's pretty simple, right? Let's do one thing. Let's remove the store or Redis, right? And let's run again. So I'll just say set name weapon. No such file or directory. Aha, that's why I deleted this thing. So we also have to handle one thing, that if there is no file, how do we delete, right? How do we create or delete? Because there is no file, and we don't want to see such errors like no such file or directory. If the file is not present, you can always create it. That can be done with the open options, right? Rust provides the open options in the file, from where you can simply use the functions. That function automatically does few checks for you. If a directory is present, if a folder is present, it will not going to touch it, and simply going to store it in any file. If it's not, then it's going to create that for you. For now, let's just create this thing because I want you to try it, okay, as a takeaway work. Cargo run set name weapon. End of UF file parsing the value at line 1 column 0. Nothing. Do we have this file name correctly? Redis.json. Okay, but at earlier we didn't created it, right? Redis.json. I don't think we created it. What do you think? Okay, my main monitor is gone due to the electricity issues. So I'll remove this thing from here and work on the laptop. So you guys have to just give me a minute. Let me just do some settlements. If I remove this thing, then eventually I can do all these things, right? Let me just check my OBS because I have to set that up as well. Mm. Mhm. So probably I can just get aside of these things. Okay, yeah, so you're able to see this, right? Let me close this as well. Yeah, are you able to see this? macOS screen. Let me just update few things. Okay, display capture, built-in retina. Okay, you're able to see this, right? If I do this, okay. uh yes, you can see it now. Okay, now let's see what do we have here. It says end of file while parsing a value at line 1 and 0. uh, we don't have anything over here, and if I just simply do a cargo run set name open, no such file or directory. So maybe I can just say touch this JSON, and I run again. Hmm. Okay, so I think, is it due to this thing? String from users open desktop. Is that on the desktop? Yes, it is on the desktop, right? So when I set this store dot set, it get called over here, right? And the contents. So this is going to throw an error. It says EOF while parsing the value. Maybe let's do it like the old school way. This is my browser over here. Let me just do it like this and keep it like that, right? So let's search this thing. no, I'll say write uh, this will help us. Indicates the search JSON received an empty string or file while attempting to. The file pointer was not reset. While using this to writer followed by a read operation, the cursor returns. So what is this thing? Seek to start. Use file.seek after writing to ensure the next read start from the beginning. Okay. Let me see if you guys are doing any chat and all. Okay, how to check how to use solution and solution from Redis is very simple. No problem. Okay, this code example doesn't work. You're missing create and open options. I think we should use open options because this way it will create read write root and provide the these things. Uh, right. So basically it says to string pretty or it returns an empty thing. So store is basically empty, right? Because this thing load JSON, probably this is going to throw an error because that's an empty file. So I think before just starting, no, but that's not a thing, right? Should not do that. Let me just try one thing. No, it says vi. Let me do this. Let me just do this. Now let's see what happens if I do cat. No, not over here. If I do cargo run that address item saved. Okay, so the issue was with this because the initial JSON file was empty. So I added some default value, but we have to like kind of provide a fix for that. For that, what we have to do, we can use open options for that, right? So I okay, item saved to JSON, right? And let me just set few other items as well. Country India, item saved to JSON file. Now when I run get I want to get the country, right, value, I get India, right? And if I say get name, I get Vipin Joshi. If I want to get address, so basically it's a mini store, right? A key value pair, mini key value pair that is basically persistent, because earlier what we did, uh, after the program exits, the hash map vanishes, but here now we have like kind of made it persistent. So but we can check if we can delete it, right? And I can say delete, what should I delete? Country, item deleted. Now let's fetch again country, no key found. Yeah, that makes sense, right? And if I get name, I get Vipin Joshi. Now one thing to do, let's see whether it has been like updating or not. So I can say cat desktop redis.json. See, uh, the third key that has been deleted, if I want to add another thing, so I can simply say set country India, so the item will be saved. And if I do again the cat, the country has been saved onto the JSON file, right? Now let's delete the address. Let's delete the name. So the item deleted, and if I do a cat again on the file, see, the name has been deleted, only the address and country remains. So this marks our exercise complete. So we build a mini Redis clone with basic features, right? The exercise whole purpose was to get you introduced with how to like work around with CLI apps, how to take parameters and all, right? And how you manage the errors, how you return the errors from the file. I hope you understand few things over here, right? How to do all these things, and this sets the baseline for your any CLI app. So you just follow these practices. You have the basic templates ready to create any CLI app. You understand the modules now, how to call them, how to write a basic class kind of thing if you are from the oops background. So yeah, and all the exercises that we have done from the past few lives are very important. So you guys can check them out. The next video that we are going to do is basically will be a pre-recorded one. So I'll creating a Redis, sorry, a Rust replica of Bitly. If you ever like figure, if you know what Bitly is, it's bit.ly. So this is what we are going to do next, but entirely in Rust. Basically, we will shorten the URL, okay, without any backend or so. Usually what happens is whenever we paste our long URL over here and get your link for free, it basically queries its backend return somewhere right on the server, and it returns back the short hashed URL or either a QR as well. So we are going to do that, but without any backend or so, because we are going to follow our current practice, that is saving the thing to disk. Why I'm not doing this? Because it will take time. Of course, we have to set up the database, we have to set up a backend server either using Actix or Exam. But I don't want to do that. I just want you to see the system architecture behind that thing and implement basically that thing. So the QR, you can see it on your terminal, you can scan that thing. Definitely it will not work because it doesn't redirect to anywhere, right? But we will create that thing. So next video will be on that. So make sure you be in touch with me, and we will understand few things together. Okay, then I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Bye guys, bye guys, bye guys. If you have any questions or so, I'm on LinkedIn and GitHub as well, on Twitter as well. So just DM me there. All right. Or just comment on the video of this live when it gets uploaded. I'll be happy to answer. All right. Bye bye. Bye bye.